So hello guys, my name is Krista. I am a mom of 7 kiddos. We are Florida residents and we are Disney World annual pass holders. We have the Pixie Pass, which is the weekday pass. And so we renewed, or we've had passes in the past, not over the last couple of years, but currently got our passes again in March, and we have been going about once a week, sometimes a couple times a week. We've done a 3-day stay over nearby at a hotel and spent a little getaway over at Disney. And we have just been going to Disney on and off for years since my oldest two, which are now almost 17 and 18, were very little, and so we have a lot of Disney experience, and I went a lot growing up. So I see this question get asked a lot in the Disney tips and tricks Facebook groups and just Disney World planning groups, and so I just want to show you guys or tell you guys what rides your 1-year-old or your baby or infant or whatever can go on in Magic Kingdom. And so I'm going to do a whole series about 1-year-olds. I have a 3-year-old, and so I'm going to do a series about the rides that he can ride, and then I have a 7, 9, and 11-year-old. Of course, your teenager. I have teenagers too, but they can ride everything. But so I'm just going to go over like the height requirement rides and the different rides that all your different age group kids can ride at each individual park. So if you like these videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of content, so YouTube knows that and can continue sharing my videos with people just like you. So I'm going to help you parents out that are planning these vacations with your kids, so you know exactly what they can and cannot ride. Stay tuned. So my first video in the series is going to be what your 1-year-old can ride at Magic Kingdom. And now I made a little list here so I didn't forget anything. So if I keep looking down, I'm looking at my little list here. So I'm going to give you a list of all the rides they can ride and then a list of the shows that you can go into. So my first tip though is babies. We have taken babies as young as 5 weeks old to Disney. You know, some say it's crazy with the germs and whatever, but she stayed in her little car seat with the cover on. She wasn't exposed to tons of germs. And, you know, I have 6 other kids, so they're out and about at all their sports and church and everything else and bringing home germs anyway. So, let's not go down that whole rabbit trail anyway. So my first tip is you have to park your stroller before you go onto any ride. So what I usually do in the stroller parking is I stick my wrap on, put the baby in the wrap. I have never had a cast member ask me to take her or any of my kids out of the wrap and switch her forward. I've seen that a lot in groups that people say some of the cast members will ask you to put the baby forward facing. I've never had anyone ask me that. They've been asleep, they've been awake. I've just always worn my baby in the wrap facing me, because some of the rides like Pirates of the Caribbean that has a little drop or they might get a little splash, I always, you know, just hold them into me real tight so they don't get scared or get wet and, you know, get irritated and fussy. So I always wear the baby in the wrap and just hold the toddler's hand, and or my teenager takes the toddler to sit with her and split the kids up that way. But so tip number 1, have a baby wrap or something with you, even if your kids don't use them all the time, or it's going to be the hot summer and you don't really want to wear the baby in the wrap, that's fine. But when you take them out of the stroller to go on the ride, the easiest thing to do is just to stick them in the wrap, and then they're on you and you can focus on your other kids if you have other kids with you, or focus on the ride and not the wiggling baby and keeping the baby still. So anyway, my 1-year-old is now she's 15 months old and enjoys all of these rides so much already at her age. So she can go on Buzz Lightyear, and you can fit 3 people on that ride. So even if I have her on me, I can take 2 other kids with me on that ride, or I can sometimes, now that she's a little older, I can sit her in the middle and me and another child can ride that ride together. Dumbo, same thing. I can take 2 small children with me and have her in the wrap, or I can take 1 child with me, keep her in the wrap, or set her beside me now that she's getting to where she enjoys kind of looking and looking at stuff as we're flying on the Dumbo ride and stuff. Now that she's enjoying it, she does like to sit in the middle, but that's one she can ride. The Mad Tea Party, which is the teacups, she can ride that, and she just sits right beside me. And if you wanted to have your baby in the wrap, you could also do that. The Carousel is her like all-time favorite. So this is a really fun age when they get, you know, 14, 15 months old, and they can really understand what's going on and enjoy the different rides. She loves the carousel and she yells when it's time to get off. So I actually put her on the horse and there's a little seatbelt that goes around her and I just stand beside her. I've also seen parents get on behind their kids on the carousel and ride with them on the same horse. There's room, there's 2 seats there to be able to do that. So she can also ride the People Mover. This has become like one of my kids' favorite rides. And it might be boring to some, but it's very nice because it's a long enough ride that you can kick your feet up and just rest for a minute, and they really enjoy it, and they enjoy it'd be a really fun one to do during fireworks, we always say, but we've never caught that one during fireworks because you do go kind of where you can see the castle and stuff. So the People Mover, your 1-year-old or infant or baby can ride. Magic Carpet of Aladdin, and that's just like the Dumbo ride, except it's a magic carpet. Same thing, keep the baby in the wrap, and you could have a couple children ride with you. It's a small world. You can usually keep your whole party with you. I think we're 5. Let's see, we are 6 people when I just go and take my kids with me, 7 when my husband goes, but they split us up into 2 rows. And so you could have your children ride with you, the baby in the wrap, or sitting beside you. So Under the Sea, the Little Mermaid ride, same. You could take 2 kids with you and have the baby in the wrap, or you could take 1 kid with you and set the baby beside you. Pirates of the Caribbean, same thing, boat ride like it's a small world, and so they usually split us up into 2 rows, but I can have a couple kids sit with me and have the baby. That one I do keep the baby in the wrap turned toward me because there is a small drop, and it does get dark for a second, so it could be scary for a 1-year-old, and there's the potential that she could get a little splash here and there when the cannons are going back and forth, or when during the drop. There's a couple different areas in the boat you could be sitting where you get a little splash, and so I do keep her in the wrap on that one. And then the Haunted Mansion, I have not done this with my younger kids. My older kids have gone on this, so I think it's about the same. Might be a little scary for your 1-year-old. That's why I haven't taken my younger kids on it, because I'm just afraid they'll be a little scared. So I think it's about the same, where you could keep 2 kids with you and the baby in the wrap. Winnie the Pooh, she loves Winnie the Pooh. That's her other favorite besides the carousel. And that one's a little tighter, so you can take 1 child beside you and keep the baby in the wrap or in the middle. But that's got a little tighter seating on it than some of the other rides. Peter Pan, that one I suggest keeping the baby with you too, because you are up pretty high, and I feel like the lap bar doesn't go down on you like snug enough. So I always keep the baby in the wrap with me on that one also, just because you're up pretty high, and I just don't, she's a 15-month-old and she's very wiggly, and I don't want her trying to wiggle out on that ride and falling. So definitely when you have other children with you and she wants to do what they're doing. So I always keep her in the wrap on Peter Pan, but it's a fun one for the little ones and they will enjoy it. Jungle Cruise is a fun one, and that you just sit all around the edge of the boat so your whole party can stay together regardless of how many children you have with you. And you can keep the baby in the wrap or not. I just want to give you guys that option, and the kind of give you the tip if how many kids you can fit with you and how to split your party up and stuff, because they'll ask when you get to the front of each ride how many are in your party, and I always try to have everybody already know before we get to the front of the line who's sitting with who and who's tag teaming with who that day. And so I just want to give you guys that tip also. So those are all the rides at Magic Kingdom that your baby can ride on, and of course they have the train that goes around the park. The only reason we don't do the train very often, it is nice if you're going from one side of the park to the other and riding rides in a different area, but you have to fold up your stroller, and I am very against folding up my stroller because I have 2 strollers and a lot of things in them, and so folding them up, holding all the stuff that's on them, and trying to take care of the baby and the toddler and keep track of the other kids is just not fun to me. So I try to avoid anything I gotta fold my strollers up for. Anyway, there's also a lot of shows. Now, for those of you that have babies that are, needing a bottle or needing to be nursed, they do have the Baby Care Center. But I feel like you're kind of wasting a lot of time, definitely if you're only coming for a couple days and you're trying to fit in a lot of things. I nurse the baby in a lot of shows. They're dark, nobody's looking at you, and you're sitting in a show anyway. Baby needs to be fed, so the Hall of Presidents is a good one. You can kick your feet up, get in some nice air conditioning, watch a little show, and feed your baby. Carousel of Progress is another one that's like a 20, I think they're both about 20 minutes long. And so that's another one that we sit on and rest and get in some AC and feed the baby. The Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Now they do have some cameras because it's kind of a, it involves the audience kind of show. And so they will show different people throughout there. So I don't know if you want to nurse in that one, but that is one your baby can go on. And Mickey's PhilharMagic, that one is a dark, quiet, I'm sorry, not a quiet, that one is a dark air-conditioned show. It's not quiet. That one may be a little loud for some if you have toddlers or babies that don't like loud noises. And Country Bear Jamboree, that's one of our kids' favorites. The baby always dances in that one and loves that one. But that's a nice air-conditioned show that you can feed your baby at. And I think I have covered, I'm trying to rack my brain, I think I've covered everything that's at Magic Kingdom. But there is so much you can do with infants and babies at Magic Kingdom. That is one of our all-time favorites. Also, if you're staying at a resort nearby, I personally just would suggest, it just works the best for us to go early in the morning, rope drop, or do your extra magic hours, and then go back after lunch and take a nice break at your hotel and come back around dinner time. I feel like people are leaving the park, or people have dinner reservations, and things slow down, things start to cool off, and it's just a much better time to be there. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can watch my other videos of the other Disney parks and what you can take your 1-year-old on. And I will be making videos for other age groups for your kids and what they can ride in each park. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.